Hi there, I have a very traditional Christmas card to show you for today's video, but it's absolutely beautiful, I think, and I'll walk you through it step by step. It's so easy. We'll show you what we'll be using in today's card. First up, I have the berry sprigs, nice little accent. The sentiment comes from the Greetings of the Season die. I'm also using the pine twigs, another little accent. And we're going to do the edges here with the Poinsettia and Holly Gemini die. I'm going to be using the holly side of this. And some floral adornments from the classic Poinsettia. I'm also going to be doing a bit of inking with the Color Cloud blending ink. This is called Decadent Bamboo. Okay, so let's get started. I've done a little bit of cutting already with one side, but we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to use the Gemini here with the holly. Now these dies have a separate cutting edge in the middle that will cut both of these sides for you, but we're not going to use it for this card. We just want it attached. So I'm going to tape it into place here with a little bit of tape. And one of the things you do need to kind of get yourself in the habit of is getting this evenly spaced. I find it's easiest to use a little ruler, so you can just pop it down where you think it looks fairly even, and then check the sizing. Make sure it's about the same place on both sides. So that one's just about there. We'll just check to see that that's about the same. A little bit less. There we go. So you can make sure it's not put on wonky at all. Pop that into place. Now, bring out our base plate. The way to cut dies like this is so you run down the length of it, so you want to turn it this direction. Pop your plate on top there. And we'll bring it back through. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to do is a little bit of inking with this, and I'll take away my extra bits and remove my tape very carefully. There we go. Oop, that one tore, so let's get the other side of that. Okay, now I first want to put in the veins for this. I'm going to use a distress marker. This is Forest Moss. So there's two tips on this. You can use either. But what I'm going to do is just go through this and put in some little veins right through the die. There. Very gently. And all the holly. Okay, and oops, right there. And you want to be sure and wipe this down if you use it again, because you miss a little bit, it's going to transfer on to anything else you cut. So there we go. Okay. That'll work. Now I'm going to remove the die and I'm going to do some inking. Pop that out of the way. Bring over my Decadent Bamboo. This one's already opened. And I'm going to use a smoothie. Now one of the things you can do is you can just ink right over that if you like, or you can cut yourself a mask so you know that you're not going to get your white card dirty, and just line that up. Okay? I'm going to just pop a little bit of that Decadent Bamboo over the top of that. Color all that edge in. There we go. And then you can remove that. And I do have a few little bits here, and I want to point out something else. Where the edge of that stops, you'll need to take your scissors and just nip this away if you have a card that's larger than the edge of that. So this side and this side. So now you can let that dry, you can heat set it, you can build it up, make it a little more intense in color if you want. You're going to do the same on the other side. Pop that right back into place. Put that on. Just ink right over it. And because there's a lot of filigree, I'm pouncing it rather than doing a circular motion like I would for the edge of a card. That way I don't pick up any of those fine detail edges and bend them out of shape. Next, you can bring this piece back over, pop that into place and put your veins in there too. So you can do it either direction, first or second. So you have a really nice little card there, okay? The next thing we want to do is use our Greetings of the Season, and we're going to cut this right in the center. Now I would heat set that. I've already got one I've done, but I would make sure that's good and dry, and I'd heat set it before I did this. I'm going to just use a little bit of tape, pop this down, and put this one through. And I want to show you about this die. This has been designed to cut out a negative portion, and now you can use the positive version of this as well. Let's just show you, but I want to get it cut out of the card for this particular card. So you can see how you've got a really beautiful negative, but this will give you 3 or 4 different pieces. So you have greetings, of, the, and season all separate, so you can lay them out on your card any way you want if you want to use them for another card, so it's not a problem. But it's designed so that you have one you can use the negative of, so it's really pretty like that. I think it looks gorgeous. Okay, so pop that aside. I've got one I've already done. So bring that in, and let me just do a tiny bit of tidying because I've got some ink. Don't want to transfer that onto our card. There we go. And dry. Okay. Okay, so I've already done one ahead of time, and I'm going to add a little bit of a background that's glittered, so you'll see it through it. A piece of white, coconut white card. I've covered it with a sticky adhesive sheet. And let me just get this glittered, and I'll give you a quick measurement on it. Copy paper. I'm going to bring in our Diamond Sprinkles, which is a white glitter. Doesn't have an interference color to it. We'll just sprinkle that over it. Spread that around. So the edges will be glittered, and so will behind the sentiment. Now, if you wanted, you could actually add little strips. I just thought it would be easier to do the whole bit. Pop that back into place. No waste. And let's just give you a quick measurement on this. The backing piece where the glitter is just a hair shy of 7 inches by 5 inches. And this, when it's cut from tip to tip, will be 6 3/4 by 5 inches. So now we've glittered this, we want to add this to it. So of course we need to add some glue to our mounting foam. We've raised it for dimension. So I'm just going to peel the backings off. There we go. We want it to stick well, so bring our Cosmic Shimmer Dry as Clear glue in here. Add that on. There we go. It's always good to let it get a little tacky first when you're doing this at home. Pop that back over there. Centered. I'm going to give a second to heat to set up, and we'll bring over our backing piece. Excuse me, a little frog. Got some mounting foam here, and I've used a white pierced mat. I've added in some red, which will tie in the poinsettia color we'll be putting on later. And we'll pop that right into the center of it. There we go. Now that's pretty like that, but it just needs a little bit more, I think. So that's where the accents come in. So we've cut some classic poinsettias here out of ruby red card. Let me grab all of these. And I like to do these as double. So I've cut 2 of each of the sizes. I like to give it a little bit of forming just by molding it around my finger. Just makes it a little bit more lifelike. We'll add some glue in the center. And then we'll offset the flowers. And I've got a pearl in the center of the top one. Give that a second to set up. And bring in all my little bits I've cut here. Now, one of the things that I did was I picked a couple of different colors of green card to give it a little more lifelike look to the pine pieces here. Okay, so let's start with the flowers. I think that's the best way to go. I'm going to put one up in the top corner here, and these are the smaller ones, and one just opposite down about there. I'll take the larger one that I've done. Oops. Let's get that glued up. Pop that into place, and it's still drying a little bit. Just below it, right off the S in Seasons. And I'm going to just bring the Cosmic Shimmer Dry as Clear glue in here and put the accents underneath it. So the berry sprig there. There we go. One here. And if you'll notice, there's two that go different directions on your in your die set, so you can actually kind of have it mold around where you want it, which I find really handy. Pop that there, and we'll bring in the greenery here. Put a few larger pieces in, the different shades. Maybe one like that. And this is kind of down to a just how you like to see your greenery put onto your cards. I like to trim it a little bit and add smaller pieces. These have been designed so you can just nip them apart, add large pieces to the larger flowers and smaller ones to the smaller flowers. So we'll put that one there. Maybe add a smaller, paler green one. And you can still use the smaller little bits that you cut away too for other purposes. That into there, and let's add a couple more. Let's trim this one down ever so slightly, just because they all wouldn't be the same size in real life. Pop that on there, and maybe one more, that'll work. Tip that right underneath there. I think that looks absolutely stunning. So now you have a beautifully finished card that I'm sure any recipient would really enjoy. Hope you'd enjoyed today's video, and look for more videos on our YouTube channel, on my blog, twice weekly at least, and hope to see you there.